Hi everybody, my name's Rebecca and welcome back to My Bookish Travels. Today I am going to be sharing with you 5 more book to movie recommendations that I think that you should watch. And today's topic is going to be adaptations that were better than the book. I know, I'm saying some really harsh words there. It's okay, take a second, process it, and just know that I would love in the comments down below if you have read the book, if you have watched what I am going to be talking about for adaptations, and possibly if you have done both of those things and you disagree or agree with me, please comment down below. I'd love to continue the discussion there. But for now, let's jump into the first one. The first one that I want to discuss is Eye Candy by R.L. Stine. I read this book after I had watched the TV show. Now, the TV show got canceled after one season. Why? It should not have been. It should not have been canceled. Season 1 was amazing, and I wish that it would be released onto DVD because it is one that I would actually watch over and over again because I loved it so much. But for the actual book by R.L. Stine, it just was a complete miss. I felt like I had to force myself to keep reading, and it missed the mark. Like, that was not one that I kept, but I actually found that I would not have picked up the book if I hadn't have seen the TV show, and I just feel like the TV show had so much more depth to it, whereas the book just felt very flat to me and one-dimensional. And I know I'm saying it about a book and I'm just staring at words on a page and it is kind of one-dimensional, but guys, if you've read it and watched the TV show, let me know if you agree with what I'm saying. All right, the second one on this list is The Blind Side. Now, the book and movie are both named The Blind Side. My mom and I watched the movie first. I feel like that's kind of like a thing with this one. Watched the movie first, read the book after, so maybe only realizing this now that I'm at the second and I'm looking at the other 3 that I'm sharing today. So for the second one, we watched The Blind Side and absolutely loved it. It was an amazing film. And then my mom and I read the book afterwards together. And the way that the author has it is one chapter is very much involved with a specific situation in football. And then the next chapter is dealing with Michael Orr and his family, the Tuohys. And my mom and I really had to push through it, and there were a number of changes that they made for the film that were vastly different to the book. But in general, I just found that the film had a lot more clarity and there was just a lot more symmetry flowing through the story, whereas the book was very disjointed, going between a chapter that's dealing with a specific situation in football and then jumping back into the story with the Tuohys and Michael. So I feel like the book just didn't do as much justice as the film did because it felt very disjointed. Number 3, this one I am so excited to share, and that is The Iron Giant. And it's based off of the book The Iron Man, which I actually owned The Iron Man and the sequel, The Iron Woman, and my dad and I read both of them together, and it just kind of fell flat. If you have seen The Iron Giant, there's just so much more going on with that story, and The Iron Man, actually, it's called The Iron Man 5 Nights, or a story in 5 parts, or a story in 5 nights, something like that. And it just didn't hit the same way that the film did. I feel like the film resonated a lot more to me because of when I watched it originally as a child, and even to this point in time, I love The Iron Giant. And I just feel like the books did not hit where the movie did. And again, it just felt like there was an underlying thought with how the author was like, I'm wanting to get across a point, and that is why I'm writing this story. Whereas the movie, it's not really kind of that situation. There's a lot more depth to it and story, and I just feel like The Iron Giant is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So if you have not even seen the movie, I highly recommend go watch it. It's with early Vin Diesel voicing the giant, and it's got an amazing cast of characters for the voices. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, number 4 on this list. I literally, as I'm going through this list, like, I feel like I'm reverting back to childhood with all of them. The 4th one is Nanny McPhee, and it's based off of the novels Nurse Matilda. So there's actually 3 books in the Nurse Matilda series, and there is Nanny McPhee and then Nanny McPhee, there's a second one. So the first one deals with the Brown family, the second one deals with the Green family. And in the actual books themselves, Nanny McPhee, Nurse Matilda, goes back to the same family 3 times. So what she's taught them in the first one, they've reverted back to their old ways, and she has to go back a second time. And the third book, they've reverted back to their old ways, and she has to come back a third time. And it just kind of misses the mark, because if she did her job the way that she said she did, she shouldn't have had to come back 3 times to the same family. Just, that's my viewpoint with it. Whereas with Nanny McPhee, she gets her point across and moves on from there. And actually, both of the films are very well done. I love both of them for the uniqueness of them, and they're just so adorably quaint. And finally, for number 5, I'm going to be talking about the Easter Bunny that overslept, aka for the film Here Comes Peter Cottontail. And guys, the book doesn't have as much adorableness as the film has. So yes, is the book good? It's okay. I didn't absolutely love it, but I will say that the actual animation of, and like the puppeteer work for Here Comes Peter Cottontail is just amazing. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. It's still on Easter, and around that time, it makes me want to watch that film, and it just warms my heart. And there just feels like there's so many different parts and aspects, and there's so much growth that takes place in that short film, that the idea that in the book, it just doesn't hit as much as it should. And I understand it is a children's picture book. It's not going to go and be like the be all and end all. But if you think that they took that as the inspiration for the film, I think they did a brilliant job. And that is why for these films, technically it was 5 and a bonus because Nanny McPhee had 2 that I mentioned. I feel like it just hit that mark. It hit in an amazing way. And if you think about book to movie adaptations, there's ones that we can be disappointed by, but there's also some freaking amazing ones out there. And these 6 films that I've mentioned, if you have not watched them, please take some time and go and check them out, because they're really awesome. Until next time, I will continue discussing further with you guys down in the comments below. I will see you next time. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you then. Bye!